Wealth, yoga, wine. Welcome to my podcast. I'm Valerie Hale. Extraordinary giving. Mary Morrissey teaches us that giving in certain ways has powerful impacts on us, which we will not even recognize immediately. She tells a story about a 15-year-old who travels with a church group to Ethiopia. Is to build a school for these young children and also build a road for the young children. The idea is to help people with absolutely nothing. They're going to be there for 2 months. They've packed for 2 months also. And naturally, being there for 2 months, they're going to have amazing bonding opportunities with these young children. The children are between, say, 6 to 8 years old. Once their mission is completed, building the school, building the road, it's time to leave Ethiopia and go back to the States. They've packed their luggage on the bus, they're boarding the bus, and this particular young man has a small child tugging on his t-shirt. It's basically the universal sign that he wants that t-shirt. This young man reasons in his mind that he can't give him his t-shirt because he'll be shirtless on the bus for 10 hours. It's a 10-hour trip. Everything's packed. There's no way he can get to his luggage. Even though he regrets this decision, he has reasoned there's just no way around giving him, this young boy, his t-shirt. He loads the bus. He looks back at this bereft child, and it's glaringly obvious that this t-shirt that this young boy is wearing is nothing better than a rag. He is very upset with himself and feeling guilty. When he arrives back to the States, this feeling is still with him. He shares this experience with his other friends, and they decide they're going to go door to door and ask for a donation of a t-shirt. They gather 18,000 t-shirts. Out of the 18,000, they sort to 10,000 t-shirts, which are in perfect shape and will make these young children go to school looking quite spiffy, they said. Once they gather these 10,000 t-shirts and box them up, they had nowhere to store them. But someone from 7-Eleven, one of their neighbors, had a storage facility, and he volunteered this for a while. It came time, however, where the manager of 7-Eleven needed his storage facility back. So these guys were back to square one, in essence. However, this story blossomed around the United States. CNN got word of it, and they came to the rescue. They took the 10,000 t-shirts, put them in appropriate containers, and they shipped them, they flew them to Ethiopia, to the specific village where the children would have plenty of clothing. And of course, they shared it with other villages. Now, not every situation of giving is going to have such a magnificent result. Several years ago, when Hurricane Sandy struck New York, I was working for a wine importer in the city. The deluge of this hurricane devastated everything for miles. None of us could get to work because the subways were absolutely flooded. The train tracks were flooded, inoperable for weeks in. Our CEO of our importing business said to us, give and give again and give until it hurts. I gave away beautiful ski clothes. I'm sure you're thinking, well, that's not a big deal. But people's lives are going to return to normal, and people lost everything, including beautiful ski clothes. Plus, they were given to me by a former boyfriend, and I hated skiing. It wasn't hurting on that level. I also chose to give really beautiful corporate suits, very nice shoes, so that these women could go back to work as soon as possible. Maybe they were going to have to interview for jobs. While none of that was really hurtful, it felt good that I was really reaching down and taking clothing from my closets that I could still wear, that I could still enjoy, but I wanted to make an impact and improve someone else's life. Another person who does an amazing job of helping other people's lives is Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry came from absolutely nothing. And once he reached the pinnacle of his career, and he's still there, he has this truly impressive, iconic film studio that takes over 320 acres. His mission is to make sure that he is lending a helping hand to his community for people who can reach an iconic career as he does. His film studio the whole facility teaches people how to produce films, anything that you can think of as far as a creative artist. He has a foundation that helps hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in all different ways. So Tyler Perry is giving back, which does have impactful results. The issue with giving is for us not to think about the strings that are attached, not to think about what we're going to receive in the end. Many times we can't give money. In the instance with the Kentuckians, who Mayfield was absolutely devastated by these twin tornadoes, some of us can drive to Kentucky and volunteer our muscle. Not me. I'm 65 years old, so I gave money instead. But for those of you who do want to give, there's homeless shelters, there's animal shelters, there's many ways to improve animals' lives and people's lives. Kundalini Yoga, in my opinion, is one of the best ways to help improve our lives. I have been studying it for 26 years. I have seen with the pandemic, our children are facing a very traumatic time, and not just with the pandemic. People getting mad at them wearing a mask, not wearing a mask, being vaccinated, not vaccinated. The violence in their schools is traumatic for them. Kundalini Yoga is a powerful technique to teach them self-confidence, to make them feel more secure, to increase their intuition, to increase a calmness about them so they're not having temper tantrums. My point with Kundalini Yoga for kids is that you won't have so many timeouts. If you do have a timeout, let them watch a yoga class on Kundalini Yoga. The podcast details have the virtual links, and they're short classes. In some of these classes, they sing. Children love to sing. Some of the positions are very silly, and children need to be silly. Lastly, wine. All I'm going to say for this season is drink responsibly. In conclusion, give until it hurts, and then give again. Have your children learn Kundalini Yoga. It will help them through these traumatic times. And they'll grow up to be amazing leaders in their community. Lastly, last minute shopping. Pure Grace, still delivering quickly. I think today's the last day though. But they have pants that are on sale. These are yoga clothes that are really beautiful and street worthy. And there's another shop right here in Gulfport, Zaya Artisan, same thing. They're shipping until later today. I think they're shipping Thursday. I am not a life coach. I am not a consultant. I create this podcast in order to improve hundreds of people globally. Joyeux Noël et merci.